There comes a point where you realize you've been editing yourself in real time. Not lying, not pretending, just trimming, softening, leaving parts out so rooms stay calm and people don't feel challenged. You learn early which pieces of you make others uneasy, so you tuck them away. You become smaller without ever deciding to. It doesn't feel like betrayal at first. It feels practical. You tell yourself it's social intelligence, adaptation, survival. But over time, something starts to rot. Not loudly, quietly. You notice it when you're alone and can't remember what your unfiltered thoughts sound like. You notice it when someone describes you back to you and it feels close, but wrong. What makes it worse is that people don't just accept the edited version. They pass it on. They tell stories about you that are technically true, but spiritually false. A version of you without context, without depth, without the parts that made you pause before speaking. That version spreads. It becomes easier for others to digest, easier to label, easier to dismiss. And you let it happen because correcting it would make things uncomfortable. Standing alone starts here. Not when people leave, but when you realize they never really met you in the first place. They met a version designed to keep things smooth, designed to avoid friction, designed to make sure nobody had to confront themselves in your presence. There's a cost to that kind of peace. It shows up as fatigue, as irritation that doesn't make sense, as a quiet resentment toward conversations that never touch anything real. You start pulling away not out of arrogance, but out of exhaustion. It takes effort to maintain a character that isn't you. This is where it gets dark, because once you see it, you can't unsee it. You notice how often people ask for honesty, but punish it the moment it arrives. You notice how comfort is valued more than truth. You notice how people curate each other into shapes they can tolerate, then call that connection. So you stop selling yourself short. Not dramatically. Not with speeches or exits. You just stop adjusting. You speak a little slower. You don't rush to reassure. You let silence sit. You let people misunderstand you if understanding requires self-erasure. Some people disappear at this point, not because you changed, but because the version they were comfortable with is gone. They will say you became distant, cold, different. What they mean is you stopped being convenient. Here's the part that carries hope. What survives this shift is real. The connections that remain are quieter, rarer, heavier. Fewer people, deeper ground. You stop being passed around as a story and start being known as a presence. Not everyone will like it. That's the point. Standing alone isn't punishment. It's alignment. It's the space where your inner life stops being negotiable, where you no longer trade pieces of yourself for ease, where you realize that being misunderstood is less damaging than being diluted. The world doesn't need another polished version of you. It needs the one that doesn't bend to keep the room comfortable. The one that can be misquoted and still sleep at night. The one that would rather be alone than be inaccurately known. That's not isolation. That's integrity. And once you choose it, you don't go back.